This podcast is an invitation to feel and experience the souls of famous old Hollywood homes and to have an in-depth journey to the areas where they're located through interviews with longtime residents. Either you're a fan of old Hollywood in Los Angeles, planning to have a vacation, or, an even bigger step, considering a certain area for your future home. This is your opportunity to receive valuable information and insightful advice you won't find anywhere else.
Hello, and welcome to my podcast. Are you in the mood for California? Today we'll feel and experience Chatsworth, featuring an interview with soulful Adrian Grand.
So we came back and I really enjoy it. It's very peaceful, very quiet. I like that I have a dog, so I love that I can just take my dog and we can go to different parks. There is great parks here. One of them being O'Melveny Park. There is also the Rocky Peak Trails. So yeah, a lot of greenery. How it shapes my life? I would say that I'm very happy here. I like the quietness of it. It gives me the opportunity to kind of be centered, because when I just came to the US, I used to live in Hollywood. Now that Hollywood is a completely different animal. It's very lively. It's a lot of things going on. It's a hustle and bustle, and you kind of run around all the time, and there's like no time to stop and to think and just refresh your mind. You will have to go to the beach or go somewhere else to kind of have that tranquility.
Masha Korpacheva is a California-based realtor and a member of the National Association of Realtors in Los Angeles. She's an advocate for selling and buying homes with soul and practicing mindfulness in real estate. With master's degrees in spiritual psychology and linguistics, Masha brings all of her skills to work with her clients. An intuit and empath, she has touched many lives with her outstanding ability to see beyond the visible and helping to come to better understanding of issues and their resolutions. An adventurous world traveler, from climbing Mount Kilimanjaro in Tanzania to exploring the Galapagos Islands, Masha has a particular passion for the City of Angels. Having landed in this paradise and adopted it as her home, she's been sharing old Hollywood stories since 2007. In the mood for California, feel the soul of old Hollywood.
And now, are you ready to feel and experience Chatsworth? Chatsworth has always been a place where stories unfold against a dramatic landscape. Long before Hollywood discovered its rugged sandstone cliffs and golden hills, the Tongva people made their homes here, leaving behind rock art and cultural traces that still speak of their presence. In the 19th century, the land became part of sprawling Spanish ranchos, and by the early 20th century, it was transformed into a natural soundstage. Its wild, rocky terrain became the set for silent westerns, the backdrop for legends like William S. Hart and Tom Mix. Even today, if you wander through Chatsworth's trails and canyons, it feels as though you have stepped into a scene from an old film reel. As Los Angeles expanded, Chatsworth retained its unique identity, a blend of rural charm and Hollywood glamour. The community became a sanctuary for those seeking space and privacy, while still staying connected to the city's creative heartbeat. The Santa Susana Mountains cradled not only movie stars, but also ranchers, vintners, and families who valued the wide skies and slower pace. In the 1960s and 1970s, Chatsworth grew into a pocket of affluence, attracting both equestrian enthusiasts and entertainment icons who craved land, views, and tranquility. It was in this rare-field corner of Los Angeles that Frank Sinatra found his retreat. The estate he owned here was more than a residence. It was a stage for friendships and gatherings that defined an era. As you passed through the secured gates and began the 2/3 of a mile ascent up the private road, the city seemed to dissolve behind you. The air shifted. You entered another realm, one preserved with care and memory, where mid-century elegance met the timeless charm of California's landscape. It's easy standing on these grounds to imagine Sinatra himself greeting guests with that effortless charisma, or Marilyn Monroe's laughter carried by the warm valley breeze. Their close friend, President John F. Kennedy, was known to be part of these gatherings too, moments where power, glamour, and music met under the same starlit sky. Perhaps it was Sinatra who queued up a vinyl record, filling the air with summer wind, while the pool sparkled below and conversation lingered late into the night. The estate itself is breathtaking, nearly 10,000 square feet of refined living space where every corner speaks of mid-century finesse. The main house holds 4 bedrooms and 5.5 baths, with a grand gallery and private office suites below. The grounds, spanning almost 14 acres, reveal themselves piece by piece, rolling lawns that could host hundreds, a detached gym, a one-bedroom guest house with its own pool and yard, and most impressively, a 50-foot swimming pool shaded by a graceful 2,000-square-foot pergola lounge. The vistas are nothing short of cinematic, offering 360-degree views that stretch endlessly across the valley and beyond. And cinematic it has been. The estate is a star in its own right, appearing in films like Swordfish, Dreamgirls, and Bewitched, and serving as a backdrop for iconic television shows including Mad Men, 6 Feet Under, CSI, and even Barbara Walters' Academy Awards special. For years, Hollywood productions have paid millions to capture its atmosphere on screen, making it not only a home but also a thriving part of Los Angeles' storytelling machine. But the magic of this place is not only in its walls. It lies in how the land of Chatsworth holds time in its embrace, ancient, cinematic, and modern all at once. To walk these grounds is to step into history, the old West that once galloped across silent screens, the golden age of Hollywood that glittered at Sinatra's parties, and the enduring California dream of privacy, beauty, and possibility. This estate, like Chatsworth itself, is more than a landmark. It is a reminder that certain places never stop telling stories. They only wait for the next chapter to be written. And here we are. Welcome to Chatsworth. I'm so happy to have Adrian Grand with me today. Adrian Grand is a Los Angeles-based photographer who captures both people and pets with warmth and authenticity. Born in Ukraine to a Ukrainian mother and a Cuban father, Adrian brings a unique cultural perspective to his work, blending sensitivity, curiosity, and an eye for connection. Now living in Chatsworth, he draws daily inspiration from the valley's rugged landscapes and the creative spirit of LA. Adrian's photography is about more than images. It's about presence and memory. Whether photographing families, individuals, or beloved animals, he aims to reveal not only what is seen, but what is felt. His work preserves the love, joy, and bonds that make life meaningful, turning fleeting moments into timeless keepsakes. Please check out his website at www.adriangrandphotography.com. Today, Adrian will share his unique journey and give us a glimpse into what life in Chatsworth truly feels like. Hello, Adrian.
Hi, Maria. How you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm great. Great to be here.
Yes, I'm so glad you found the time to have this conversation with me. And I have a feeling that you have a lot to share. So I'm really looking forward to it. So, Adrian, you live in Chatsworth, and it's one of those very unique corners of Los Angeles where the city meets wide open nature. So, what does the vibe of Chatsworth mean to you? How does it actually feel like to live there? And maybe it shapes your daily life and creativity in some way?
Well, I've been living here not that long ago. Starting the pandemic, we moved to Porto Ranch with my girlfriend, and it's really close. It's right next to Chatsworth. And during that time, I really actually enjoyed it because, as you said, it's really a unique place because there is a lot of nature here. So it's kind of like the city meets wildlife. There is a lot of animals here that walk around. You can see all the time coyotes. So it's really wild in a way. And I loved it so much that I thought one day I would like to actually live here in the Chatsworth area. To give a little bit of maybe too much detail, but after the pandemic, we moved back to Encino, which is a completely different area. I enjoy Encino. It's really, there is a lot of great food places. It's more alive, I would say. But I always wanted to come back to Chatsworth or Porto Ranch. So we came back and I really enjoy it. It's very peaceful, very quiet. I like that I have a dog. So I love that I can just take my dog and we can go to different parks. There is great parks here. One of them being O'Melveny Park. There is also the Rocky Peak Trails. So yeah, a lot of greenery. How it shapes my life? I would say that I'm very happy here. I like the quietness of it. It gives me the opportunity to kind of be centered, because when I just came to the US, I used to live in Hollywood. Now that Hollywood is a completely different animal. It's very lively. It's a lot of things going on. It's a hustle and bustle, and you kind of run around all the time, and there's like no time to stop and to think and just refresh your mind. You will have to go to the beach or go somewhere else to kind of have that tranquility. So I found it here in Chatsworth.
Very nice. And how long ago did you come to Los Angeles?
So I came to LA in 2000. I came twice.
Okay.
First time 2010, and I spent here, I think 1 year and a half, about 2 years and a half. And I got so homesick that I wanted to go back to Ukraine. So I went back to Ukraine, and then after being there a little bit, I said, no, I want to go back to LA. 2013, I moved completely to LA.
Okay. And since then, would you say that you still miss Ukraine? Do you still want to go back?
I miss my friends mostly. I used to DJ in Ukraine. So for 10 years, I used to work in a nightclub, Latin music nightclub. And I miss those times. I miss my friends. I miss having great time with them. Particularly Ukraine. I love Kiev. I love my city. Now that I look back to those times, yeah, I definitely miss that. I miss my family. My mom is still there. So yeah, but I feel more comfortable and more at home here in LA.
That's good to hear. Yes, because when you feel at home in the country or in the city where you live, then you're probably more open to different opportunities in your life and you're a happier person.
Right. Yes, definitely. I've been to a lot of places, and I'm sure we're going to talk a little bit later about this, but yeah, always coming back to LA, to the States, it's a good feeling. I like when you arrive at LAX, there is a big flag and it's welcome home. And when the officer tells you also welcome home, feels good.
Oh, that's great. That's wonderful. So, Adrian, your heritage is actually very interesting. So, you do have Ukrainian roots on one side, but then you're Cuban on the other. So, how do you feel your heritage lives in you today? And maybe you see traces of it in your photography somehow.
So yeah, my father is Cuban. I grew up in Cuba. I lived there until I was 7 years old. And then we came to Ukraine in 1990. And then I spent 20 years in Ukraine until 2010. I think I spent most of my life in Ukraine. So I often how do I say this? I don't want to say that I feel more probably I feel more Ukrainian. Yeah, I feel more Ukrainian than Cuban. But then when I went to study in Kiev in 2000, I studied sound engineering. I reconnected with my Cuban roots because I found that nightclub, Caribbean club, where I worked, and I met a lot of people from Latin America. So it was for me like the time when I reconnected with my Cuban roots, with my Latino roots. So that was a great time. I learned how to dance salsa, merengue, bachata, all of those fun dances.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Now, when I came to LA, all that kind of, I don't want to say fade away, but I didn't had time to, I didn't had the opportunity to find the same environment here in terms of the Latin culture. I would say that I did ended up working in a Spanish radio station in LA, but it was not the same as when I was in Ukraine. There is a lot of Latinos here, obviously. California, hello.
Yes.
So yeah, but I have a lot of friends who are from Venezuela. Some of my friends from Ukraine that came here as well, and they live here now. So yeah, it's actually a very strange feeling when you are from one country and then you have your other half from another country, and then you end up moving to another country. You
Mm-hmm.
get lost.
Yes.
Know anymore who you are. You're kind of the mix of everything and everything. I love different food, which is also interesting. I love all kinds of food. So I think I'm the person of the world at this point. How that affected my photography, I have no idea. No idea. No idea. Maybe it's somehow, but yeah, I like to listen to Latin music. I talk to my dad almost every day. He lives in Austin, Texas, which I'm going to visit him on Sunday. My brother moved here from Cuba, my half brother. So them moving here kind of also helped in a way that I started talking to them more.
Mm-hmm.
Before that, when they were in Cuba, we didn't communicate it as much. But now that they're here, we almost every day we talk on the phone. So that's great.
Do you speak English or Spanish?
We speak Spanish when I talk to them.
Okay, so you speak multiple languages. No wonder you're confused.
I'm confused.
So you speak Spanish. So would you say it's your first language?
No, my first language I would say is Ukrainian.
Okay.
Then I would say Spanish and then English. Although at this point, maybe English and then Spanish. I don't know.
Right, but you also speak Russian, so that's the fourth language.
Speak Russian. Yeah, I speak Russian.
Okay. Wow, that's very interesting. So I think when you have such, a mix of heritage traces in you and you speak various languages and you live in different countries, I think the most important thing that humans look for is the connection, right? The connection with themselves to begin with.
Right.
And once you find this, it becomes easier for you to connect with other people.
Mm-hmm.
And the way I see your photography, because you're very unique, because you capture not only people, but also their pets, and sometimes people and pets together to show this connection that humans have best friends.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe this was the way how your heritage influenced your creative life. Would you think so?
I don't know. I think I consider myself mainly a pet photographer, a dog photographer.
Okay.
And people came later.
Interesting. Okay. So, Adrian, how do you actually approach photographing pets? And is it the same or different than photographing humans?
It's totally different. I had various different people ask me the question, who is easier to photograph? And I always say that it's dogs. I'll explain why. Well, first of all, I was born in the year of a dog, 1982.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if this has anything to do, but since I was little, I was obsessed with animals. I was obsessed with dogs in particular. I always wanted to have my dog, and I ended up having one in Ukraine. So dogs for me always were like my best friends. I have been bitten by dogs. I know that some people are bitten by dogs and then they cannot be in the same room with the dog.
Mm-hmm.
Not my case. I have been bitten by dogs. I still love those dogs. I always find like a way to kind of be friends with them. Back then when that happened. Now I find it very easy for me to photograph dogs. I think because I have a special connection with them. I feel like I understand them without them saying,
Mhm.
say anything, but not without them, but I understand dogs. I understand their behavior. I love them. I have my own dog, Momo, who's sitting right here on my toes right now. So the reason it's easy, I think because I enjoy it. I enjoy it the moment I see a dog in front of my camera. I don't try to pose them. I just let them be themselves, and then I just capture that moment. And with people, it's completely different because people are always conscious about how they look. I don't like my hair. I don't like to be photographed. I don't like that. Dogs are just there and they enjoy every single moment of their lives. So capture that is so unique, and I'm fortunate to do that. I love doing it.
Hmm. What an interesting observation. So people want to be liked, for their looks, right? And dogs don't care about that.
Yeah, dogs are like a flower. A flower never complains that it doesn't look good. It's always happy. Same as the dog. Like they are happy running around no matter what, and it's really special to see that in them. And as you know, dogs are humans' best friend, and all they care is about their humans. Occasionally, they care a little bit more about food, but it's humans. And yeah, that's why I find it super easy. I prefer to work with dogs, honest.
Right, right. Wow, how interesting. Yeah, if you're a photographer and the person really wants to be liked by your camera, right? It's almost like there is this pressure on you that if you don't do a
Right.
good job and they don't like themselves, then it will be almost as if your camera didn't like them,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. And it's also very rewarding once I photograph the dogs to see the reaction of their owners.
Mm-hmm.
Very often they cry, which is probably the reason why I do this. I like to get emotions out of people when they see their pets from a completely different angle that they saw them before.
Mm-hmm. Wow, wow. It's almost like it's a way for people to forget themselves finally and think of, someone else.
Yeah.
Wow, that's interesting. And can you share a moment maybe behind the lens when you actually felt that you truly captured someone's soul? It can be a dog or it can be a human as well, if that ever happened.
Actually, I wish I could show you like a picture, but if I were to describe it, yeah, it's actually my dog Momo.
Mm-hmm.
Big portrait of him here in my studio, and it's just like it's him. And by the way, every time I set up for a photo shoot, he comes and he sits in front of the camera and he's ready to be photographed. So
Wow.
I don't know, he knows somehow what I'm doing and he loves to be in front of the camera. So I have this portrait where I was just practicing, I think, trying new lighting techniques, and I capture him and it's him. It's you look at this picture and I've got a compliment from various people that it looks like a painting,
Hmm.
but it's actually a photograph. So that's, yeah, I think that moment was very special because I was able, I don't even think it was me. I think it was something higher than me, obviously, because I just captured his soul. I capture who he is in that portrait. When I'll see you, I'll show you and you'll understand.
Yes, I would love to see that. Well, that must have felt very special.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I have it printed here, like in big size, like a
Wow.
24 by 36.
Amazing. That's amazing. Well, Adrian, on a different note, there was this incredible meeting that you once had with a very special person in your life, and that was actually Pope Francis. And I'm sure it was a very powerful and rare experience. So, what impression did that meeting leave on you, maybe both as a person and as an artist?
Yes, I was very lucky enough last year to meet Papa Francesco, as we say. That was a very interesting meeting. It was very profound, very special. The first 7 minutes when we entered his living room at Santa Maria, that's the building next to the to St. Peter's Church. The first 7 minutes were like, oh my God, I'm in the living room of Father Francesco, and like everybody was frozen. It was me and three more people.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody was frozen. It was like, oh my God, what do we say? What do we do? How do we behave? But then something magical happened where you realize that he is just a human being like everybody else. And I was lucky that I speak Spanish. So I ended up speaking with him for 2.5 hours in Spanish. He's from Argentina. And it was amazing. It was a really touching moment in my life. I will never forget it. It was like talking to your grandfather. So kind. He's so down to earth. He deeply cared about humanity. Still cares. I believe he still looks at us and he really cares from above. Yeah, he is an embodiment of someone truly holy. Like that person, like being in his presence is like being in the presence of somebody with a higher, I don't know what's the word, but somebody very special. We spoke about everything. He's a big fan of football, European football, which I hate when people say soccer because yeah, so he's a big fan of football. He loves to laugh, crack a joke. He was cracking jokes all the time when we met. Yeah, it was very, very unique experience. I also asked him, "What do you do when you feel sad? What do you do when things are not like when you're feeling a little bit probably not happy or melancholic?" And he told me he looks in the mirror and he starts making faces.
Oh, that's good advice.
So it was very special. Another special thing was that when we were leaving, and also it's not that I want to brag about this, but I spoke with him for 2.5 hours. Not many people in the world could say that.
Yes.
So I'm very lucky, very fortunate that I've spent so much time with him. And at the end, when we were leaving, he asked me to stay and he blessed me. And that was very special because I started crying. I said, "Can I hug you?" And he said, "Of course." So I gave him a big hug. Yeah, and we left, and it was a fantastic 2.5 hours with the Holy Father.
What an incredible experience, and I'm sure you will carry it with you in your heart for the rest of your life.
Yes, I will.
Wow. So, Adrian, when you look at your journey from Cuba, then to Ukraine, then to Los Angeles, and then your path leading to photography, specifically photographing dogs, what has photography taught you about life, maybe love, and what truly matters? Is there a larger story that you want your work to tell?
I think we can say this about any art form, that it always teaches us about humanity. Because the moment you have somebody in front of the camera, the moment you film somebody on video, the moment you paint somebody, everybody's very vulnerable. So you see the person in front of you and you are trying to capture their soul. What photography has taught me in this regard, either it's a dog or either it's a person, is that we all are the same. We all want the same things. We all want to be loved. We all want to be happy. We all want to be accepted. And that's what art, I think, does in this crazy world that we live in. And that's why I think art right now is very important, because we are all the same. We are all the same. We all want the same things. And unfortunately, today in the world, there is a lot of division. There is a lot of hatred. There is a lot of bad things happening. And we need art. We need to put a smile in somebody's face by looking at something special and beautiful. And that's pretty much it. This is what any art form that I ever did, that's what it always taught me: to be human, to be kind to other people, to love other people. And yes, I think that's what it taught me. I also want to say that here in Chatsworth, I found a very beautiful church. It's called the Church at Rocky Peak. And it's a very beautiful environment where you can go and just connect with God and realize that we are all the same, that we all have our own problems, and that we, at the end of the day, just want to be loved.
Yes, so true. Wow, I couldn't agree more with you, Adrian. Well, thank you so much for finding, love and kindness within yourself and spreading it through your love, spreading it through your art, and, teaching us all, because every human has this immense power within them. Because once you show up and do something, maybe completely on your own, maybe without any support at all, but you do your thing and you create your art. And with that, you teach other people, one human being will follow you, then another, and people will learn this and people will be touched by this. So thank you for doing this.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yes. And thank you for finding the time today. And I hope you will share that picture of Momo with me so that I can post it together with the link for the interview so that people can see the soul of Momo, and it will be very special. I'm sure it will be a great experience. Thank you, Adrian. Thank you so much for this wonderful, heartful conversation.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you very much for tuning in to Feel and Experience Chatsworth with my special guest, Adrian Grand. If you enjoy my podcast In the Mood for California, please sign up for future episodes at your preferred platform, and please leave your feedback. I really appreciate your time and support. You can also follow me on Instagram at In the Mood for California and check out my website www.inthemoodforcalifornia.com. On our next stop, we'll drift down to Long Beach and see how its ocean breezes, eclectic neighborhoods, and creative spirit have shaped its story. It's a world of boardwalks, art, and salt air, and I cannot wait to wander it with you.
In the Mood for California, feel the soul of Old Hollywood.